We're Slick Rock Productions. I'm Jake. This is Kurt, and I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
This is going to come across probably a little harsh.
Perfect.
You
Shocking. Yeah.
How many of these damn Rangers are you going to build?
I really like them, Jake. You know, I don't know. More? You know?
More? Is
Yeah.
that an answer?
I feel like I got my first Ranger a lot of years ago, as you know. The first one we built was our trail recovery rig.
Right.
And I don't know, it just kind of planted a seed in me, and I really like the platform.
Okay.
So,
What do you like so much about it? Like, what do you use? What are you using the Rangers mostly for?
well, mine is daily cruisers. So around here in the mountains, as you know, we do a lot of mountain riding. And I like the climate control. I mean, that's kind of the big thing I like with them. But the one thing that is kind of cool with them is they're really reliable. They don't have a lot of power. They're not a performance machine by any stretch of the imagination. But because of that, they also don't really break. And so it's like you can build one of these things, and if you do it properly, they last for a lot of years and a lot of miles. And they've been good to me over the years, and I keep building them, you know.
And you do put a lot of miles on these, and that's probably one of the biggest reasons you like swapping them out.
Right.
Outside of, you know, upgrades and different features and things, but once you get them up to a certain miles, you like keeping them fresh.
Yeah, and damn Polaris, every time they come out with a new one, they just keep adding some stuff to it. They keep getting a little bit better and a little better, and so you just can't stop. They kind of get you by the hook, so to speak, you know?
Well, speaking of that, dive into it a little bit.
So this one's a 22. The last one I built was a 20. And I decided I wanted to build another one because there was a few upgrades on these that I really like. I feel like the cab's is insulated a little better. It's a little quieter inside. It holds heat. It doesn't drip as much as the old ones do, which I kind of like that.
Right.
But they have some cool stuff inside them too. I feel like there's a little more CFM with the heater and the AC unit, which is nice as well.
How's that with your hair?
Well, you know, it tussles it a little bit, you know what I mean? But the thing is I'm not getting wet. I don't like frizzy. Right. I like windblown. It's totally different, you know? So, but I like that. But the big thing on this model that really kind of drew me to it is the place where I've had a little bit, where it's been a little tough in the past, was the bolts on the suspension. And so, as we know, we put reinforcement tabs on everything. Historically, these things have come with 10 millimeter bolts that hold the A-arms on the tabs, right, front and back, and they went to a 12 millimeter bolt on this. And so they're just bigger, they're beefier. Did the same thing, reinforced it all anyway, but I feel like the longevity will be a little bit better with the more stout hardware, right, on it, you know.
Yep.
So I liked that part of it, about it a lot, and I like the new lights on them. The headlights on these things have just been terrible for years and years. They went to an LED on these.
Finally.
Yeah, and so it's like before, it's like if I was driving down the road, especially if it was raining, you know, or snow or anything, it's like the headlights alone, you couldn't see anything. You had to have light bars on, and if you're out on the roads and cars are coming, obviously that's problematic. But these headlights are a lot better. So I mean, it's not a whole bunch of massive upgrades. The bolts were the big thing. The little stuff was, you know, I mean, just nice bonus, yeah, to it.
Sure. So let's break down. So we've been through the process a little bit. We've made some changes. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so
what have we done?
The thing that is tough about Rangers is they are a great platform, but their capabilities are very limited. They're very low to the ground. The suspension has like a couple inches of travel in it from the factory, so that's tough. They don't ride very well, and you just drag your bottom on everything going through it. So obviously we're portal guys. We portal everything, including our lawnmowers, and so that's a natural. So with this machine, we did 4-inch boxes on it. We did 15% reduction. We did billet boxes. With the portals, we get longer suspension. It's essentially like a long travel kit, so you get a lot more articulation out of it. We pull the front sway bar off together. We just leave the rear one so it's a little stable because they are roly-poly. And so you need to have a sway bar at least on one side on one of these. But we did all super ATV suspension. We went with their 1.5-inch Ford, heavy-duty A-arms. They're super stout. They're adjustable, so we can kind of set our ride height where we want to set them. You know, the tubing in them's a lot thicker than it used to be, and so I feel like in all the Rangers that we've built, we have never had a problem with that suspension, and it's just kind of our go-to with it.
It's held up well, and especially with that forward offset A-arms. It's clearing 35s right now.
Yeah, 35-inch tires. I mean, it's like it doesn't rub at all, which is super nice. And another thing that we didn't talk about there that they upgrade on these is they went to a bigger ball joint.
Oh, that's a big deal.
Yeah, in the 2020, you know, like that ball joint was so small. I sheared 3 or 4 of those things, and there's just not a lot of great aftermarket replacements for them because they're just not big enough. And so when you run big tires and you have rolling mass, that becomes problematic. The other Rangers, we switched to the old style A-arms so we could run regular ball joints in them. That's a little bit of a pain. If you guys have questions on that, we can walk you through it. Yep. It's a lot stronger for the previous models, but this one here where they're a lot bigger, I haven't heard about problems with them. I don't think there's problematic. I still don't feel like that's as strong as the other setup is, but I think it will suffice with this application. Gotcha. So, and then same thing, we did all the A-arm, the reinforcement tabs, the reinforcement of the frame plates on them. Yeah. And so definitely wanted to go down that road no matter what. I mean, with rolling mass on every machine we do, we reinforce A-arm tabs. We go down that road just because if you start wallering out those holes, it becomes tough, and it's like it requires welding and putting new tabs on. So if you can do it in the beginning, yeah, get it done. Cool. You know, so outside of that, doing the suspension on it, doing the portals on it. We love the style of DRT. We threw DRT winch bumpers front and rear on it, Super ATV winches on it. I like the look of them a whole bunch, you know.
And they're sliders.
Yeah, Super ATV sliders.
Complements it very well.
Yeah, if you do get into some rocks, you know, it's like these doors are super expensive. The OEM replacements on them are expensive. You want to protect your doors. A few $100 for a good set of sliders goes a long way when it comes down to that. Cool. So, and then outside of that, I mean, outside of relocating the back camera, the cameras on these are horrible. They have them mounted up under the bed. They're on a weird angle. And just from the factory, all you can see is the ground.
Right, basically you utilize it just for when you're hooking a trailer up.
Yeah, yeah.
So, it sounds like,
yep. So we just drilled a hole in the back of the bumper. We got on Amazon, bought the $14 extension kit, and put that in the back where it's actually usable. And we got some more plans for this thing, but as far as it goes, it's really hardy right now. This is kind of the same platform we've been building on them all. And like I said, with 35-inch tires on it, it really didn't slow it down with that reduction in it. And these are prototype tires. These are going to be out here pretty quick, but they're a great tire for this. And I like the wheel offset from the muscle wheels. It doesn't affect the steering much. Perfect. And in line with that, we put a 2.0 rack in it because bigger steering racks are always better, you know.
It is. And whenever it comes to safety products, your tie rods, ball joints, it's those kind of areas you don't want to skip on.
There's just areas out there where you've got to be careful when you're building big vehicles.
Because there are items that it's going to leave you stranded.
Exactly. Yeah, you get out there and you break a tire end, you snap a ball joint, you do something like that. I mean, it's a safety issue, and nothing ever breaks in the garage. That's just kind of how it works. So
only when you're backing off the trailer.
Yeah. I've heard that before on warranty claims, but.
Well, good deal. Well, we're going to do some different shots of things, kind of show you around it. Make sure you take a good look at it, because by the time you watch this video, he's probably going to be moved on to his next Ranger anyway.
I do love Rangers, so I got a serious soft spot for them, and I think they're just great platforms. They're great rigs, and there is something about air conditioning and heat and insulated cab that is just awesome. Right. It doesn't matter if it's 12 degrees out, we go out and we plow snow in the middle of the summertime. You want to go down to Moab, but it's 115, it sucks. But you have tinted windows and you go in an air-conditioned cab, go enjoy the scenery. It's just nice, exactly. You know. And you don't get dirty on top of that. You know, it's like you can drive these things through a car wash. I really like that part about it. I said that there are dailies. I mean, I just really enjoy them and I like them. And if you guys have any Ranger questions, certainly reach out to us. We know them inside out, upside down, and backwards. We've built a lot of them. They're one of our favorite platforms, and we're happy to talk to you about any Ranger questions you might have.